Are you Kayla Connor? All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
This isn't just a courtroom, it's a collision zone where bad choices, broken trust, and a system tired of second chances come head to head. Front and center is Kayla Connor, visibly pregnant, on probation, and deep in legal quicksand. She's already tangled in a case involving child endangerment, and now she's asking the court for leniency. But Judge Boyd? She's been down this road too many times. Get ready to witness a woman trying to plead for redemption while the courtroom shines a spotlight on contradiction after contradiction. Drug use during pregnancy, unstable relationships, and a trail of poor decisions involving her children. And let's not forget, CPS is involved. Her newborn tested positive for THC, and probation violations are stacking like bricks. This isn't just a legal proceeding, it's a full-on unraveling. And what you're about to see is a judge who's tired of the cycle and ready to break it. Brace yourself. You're about to hear the courtroom's version of no more excuses. Let's stop right there. Pregnant again, after already being under legal supervision. This is the kind of detail that makes judges' eyebrows raise and prosecutors lean forward. Because every new child under unstable conditions, especially while on probation, turns up the volume in the courtroom. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Pregnancy doesn't wipe the slate clean. It magnifies accountability. The court doesn't care if this baby came from a rekindled relationship or a one-night mistake. It cares if the child will be safe, supported, and sober. Judge Boyd doesn't look impressed. Not because of the pregnancy itself, but because it fits a recurring pattern. One that screams no long-term plan, just short-term survival. You watching this, what's your take? Is this a redemption arc or a repeat offense waiting to happen?
We're hoping that the court follows the recommendation now.
So where is Alexander White, your child?
That is not my child. That was my ex-boyfriend's son. He was taken by the state back last year sometime, so I'm not aware. I haven't had any contact with him.
How many children do you have?
I have 3 of my own and 4 including this one.
Okay, and where were your children during this beating of a child with your ex-boyfriend?
They were in the
Seems
room
like
with
it
me.
might be a good case for the first. This is first.
It happened and he had his own, him and I worked together when this happened in the apartment. We
Mhm.
hadn't started dating yet.
Mhm.
And
we've never
I
been
was
arrested.
in the room dealing with my children and he was doing his
For
own
the-
thing with his child.
So did you start dating after this?
Yeah.
Why would you start dating
I
someone?
wasn't aware
No,
that he was,
listen to my question. Why would you start dating someone who's abusive to their child?
because I wasn't aware of the extent. He was telling me one thing, that it was just a simple spanking. I was not aware of how he was actually handling his child. I had just met him at the time of this happening.
I'm sorry, what?
I had just met him at the time of this happening.
Mhm.
We hadn't even known each other. I don't even think a month.
So let's get this straight. She barely knew the guy his child was involved in a violent incident, and her response is, I had just met him? That's not a defense, that's an indictment of judgment. Courts deal with this all the time. Parents who move too fast, introduce unstable partners to their children, and then act shocked when things go sideways. But guess what? Ignorance is not innocence. The law expects reasonable precaution, especially when kids are involved. You don't get to shrug off a child abuse case just because you didn't know him that well. That makes it worse. This is where Judge Boyd starts drawing the line. And trust me, her patience with this kind of behavior is razor thin. Would you leave your child with someone you barely know?
So you hadn't known each other a month when this happened.
He was my uncle's brother, so I figured he would be somebody I'd be able to trust, considering my adoptive uncle, I've known him for a while. I didn't think anything harmful with the situation.
Just very, very briefly.
Yes.
There are 3 co-defendants here, and one is Brandon White, one is Alexander White, and the other is Kayla White. So there's another Kayla. This is Kayla Connor. The others are charged with injury to a child, and Ms. Connor is charged with violation.
Okay.
I just want to make sure, because I got kind of confused.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But I will tell you what it never ceases to amaze me. And I never understand why people who have children get involved so easily with other people. I never understood that. Now, what she's telling me is she knew him for a month and this had happened. And how old was the complainant?
At that time, it was in,
Somewhere 11, somewhere around there.
10, 11.
The fact that you don't know what's going on with somebody that you're dating or you dated after the fact tells me that you're not thinking with a straight head. Are you employed?
No, ma'am.
And how many children do you have?
I have 3.
All right. So you have 3 children, a baby on the way, and you're not employed. That's a problem. Because what ends up happening, and I've seen it, is you depend on somebody else for financial support. People are just having children all over the place and they're not financially supporting them. And they're going from one boyfriend to the next boyfriend. And I tell people all the time, there are maybe some great guys out there. There may be some great women out there. And I love children, but children are baggage. You need to consider every child you have a suitcase, and it's a heavy suitcase. And you got to ask yourself, the person I'm getting with, do they really want to carry these suitcases with me? And it's not like at the airport where those, you can put them in a cart. It's you dragging a suitcase, and it's the old fashioned suitcase. It's not the type with the wheels. It's somebody picking those suitcases up and handling with them with care.
This metaphor right here, legendary. Judge Boyd compares children to heavy old school suitcases with no wheels, the kind you have to carry with both hands. It's not meant to insult, it's meant to shake people awake. Every child comes with emotional, physical, and financial weight. And when someone like Kayla jumps from relationship to relationship, Judge Boyd sees the baggage stacking up, but no one willing to carry it. Here's what's smart about this analogy. It strips away the sugarcoating. Children aren't just part of your journey, they are the journey. And if your new partner isn't ready to carry that load, you're risking your kids for a shot at companionship. Raw truth. Most people want a relationship. Few want responsibility. What do you think? Was this a wake-up call or a straight-up roast?
And usually what ends up happening is, and you know this, counsel, because you've done CPS cases, you end up with some random guy who you think is this great guy. Y'all decide to have another child. The child that's biologically his, he treats great. The other children get the shaft. So I hope that you're not going from boyfriend to boyfriend and putting all these random people in your children's life. But you need to get a job, because who's supporting you?
The man I'm with right now.
Yeah. And so now you're dependent on him to support you, to support your children, to keep a roof over your head. And I hope you're not letting him be in charge of disciplining children that are not his biological children.
They are his biological children. I got that from their father.
So you're just moving from person to person. You're with this other boyfriend and now you're with him.
And there it is. Judge Boyd calls it out directly. Kayla's not just struggling, she's cycling. From one partner to another, from one unstable home to the next. And each time the kids are brought along for the ride. This is where courts draw the line. Because it's not just emotional whiplash, it's legal concern. Every new boyfriend increases the chance of inconsistent parenting, unfamiliar discipline, and yes, abuse. And when you're not employed, pregnant, and relying on others to house you and support your children, the court sees a powder keg waiting to explode. This isn't about morals, it's about safety, stability, and survival. Judge Boyd is making it crystal clear. This behavior isn't just reckless, it's dangerous parenting. Would you trust someone like this with your kids?
No, we ended up getting back together.
If you're drug tested, what are the results going to be?
I should come clean.
I'm sorry, what?
That I should be clean. I haven't been smoking or anything.
When's the last time you smoked?
Month and a half ago, 2 months ago,
And how far along are you?
4 months.
So you're smoking while you're pregnant.
I didn't know I was pregnant at the time, ma'am.
You don't know you're pregnant in 2 months?
No, I still had my period and everything. I was not aware.
Okay. Probation, I apologize. But you know, they're going to be field visits. So they've agreed to your application for deferred adjudication. I mean, if I could make it so you not have a boyfriend in your life, I would, but I can't do that. I'm hoping that you're protecting your children. I'm hoping that people will learn that they need to be financially responsible for their children, because when they're not, the people who are financially responsible are the taxpayers.
This part hits like a gut punch, especially if you've ever paid taxes. Judge Boyd makes a chilling point. When parents don't step up financially, taxpayers end up footing the bill. From daycare subsidies to foster care, society becomes the safety net when parents fail. And here's the uncomfortable reality. There's no accountability in love or lust, but there is accountability in court. Financial instability isn't just a personal issue. It becomes a legal one when it affects children. When Kayla admits she's unemployed, pregnant, and dependent on her boyfriend, the judge isn't just irritated, she's alarmed, because dependency often leads to control, isolation, and repeat patterns of neglect. No income, no plan, no protection for the kids. This isn't just about child support. It's about basic human responsibility.
I love children. I don't have any children, but I can't tell you the number of children I've paid for a babysitter through taxes. I paid for their daycare through the taxes. But people need to start taking care of their children financially, and people need to start making great decisions for their children, because guess what? None of your children can take care of themselves. You can't send them to Travis Park and say good luck to you, and you keep bringing these random people in. So this is what the court is going to do. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. You pled as a co-defendant to Brandon White, Christopher White, and Kayla White. There's to be no contact with Brandon White, Christopher White, Kayla White. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. There's 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you get it or if you've already had it, 40 of those hours be waived. There's going to be parenting classes, and that'll be the triple T. Remaining of the community service hours will be waived upon completion of those classes. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be field visits 3 times per month. Please tell probation to check on the children. There's to be random UAs. And please have her tested today for levels.
This moment might sound routine, but it's a pressure test. The judge orders a drug screening on the spot, because when trust is gone, all that's left is verification. And the subtext is brutal. Judge Boyd doesn't believe Kayla. She's heard the excuses before, and she knows the courtroom is often the last place where truth shows up. Legally, this kind of drug test is critical. If Kayla fails here, it could immediately escalate her probation status, trigger a revocation, or even lead to jail time, especially because she's pregnant. What's more alarming is Kayla's shaky answer. I should be clean. That's not confidence. That's hesitation, and hesitation in court often reads like guilt. This isn't just about weed. It's about whether she can follow rules when the stakes are at their highest. Would you risk a failed test in this moment?
Proof of employment. So where are your children now?
At home,
Who's watching them?
their father,
What does he do for a living?
he's an HVAC technician.
What does that mean?
He works on AC units.
All right, we're going to do proof of employment within 3 months. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors.
This is a critical line that could easily be overlooked, but it's legally loaded. Judge Boyd just laid out a strict employment restriction. Kayla is not allowed to work in home health care with minors. That's a protective measure, not a punishment. Why? Because when someone's already facing charges tied to child endangerment or neglect, putting them in direct access to vulnerable individuals, like minors or the elderly, becomes a huge liability. This isn't just a job restriction, it's a safety net for others. And it's a reminder that criminal behavior affects future job eligibility, especially in care industries where trust is everything. Once a person is flagged in the system with a family violence finding, Courts often limit employment options to protect the community, not just penalize the offender. Kayla's options are shrinking, and the court is making that crystal clear.
All right, good luck to you. We can go off the record. Here's the thing. I do believe, I hope I'm right in believing that you love your children. If you love your children, you know, you've got to be their number one protector and look out for them. And you can't have random people looking out for them. Now, I don't know what happened between you and the relationship and the father of your children that caused you all to break up. But what I do know, if that hasn't been addressed, guess what? You're back in a relationship with the same problems you had before. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. All right, according to probation, you're positive for marijuana. I'm not allowing you to transfer to Austin. So whatever job your husband has, you need to be here in Bexar County. And probation, I want those field visits done 3 times per month randomly until further notice, so we can make sure that the children are okay. So I don't know what's happening in your CPS case. I deal with the criminal side, not the civil side. They're allowing you to go to Austin. I guess that's what they're allowing. I'm not allowing it. If you want to be allowed to live in Austin, then you need to do better on your probation.
This line hits like a hammer. Do better. Kayla's not being denied the right to move just because the court's being strict. She's being denied because she's not proven trustworthy. Probation isn't a suggestion, it's a contract, and Kayla's broken it repeatedly. From missed check-ins to positive drug tests to living in unauthorized locations, Judge Boyd sees a pattern of non-compliance that tells her this person can't be trusted without direct oversight. Transferring probation to another county isn't just a move, it's a privilege, one that must be earned through good behavior, clean tests, and full transparency. And until Kayla shows she can follow rules in Bexar County, there's no way she'll be allowed more freedom in Travis. This isn't just about moving cities, it's about whether the court believes she'll ever follow through.
And better on your probation is not having a house that, from the reports I'm getting, is messy with couches blocking doors and you testing positive for marijuana and being pregnant. And so that means that either you are using marijuana outside your house, in which case the children are being unsupervised, and that would explain the couch blocking the front door, which is a fire hazard. If there's a fire in the house, how do you expect firemen to get in the house when you're blocking it with couches? And if your husband or boyfriend or the father of your children doesn't want to step up and help you if you have medical issues, then maybe you shouldn't be in a relationship with him. But you are setting a horrible example for your child. And I don't know about this other mother who lives, who knows where, allowing her 9-year-old to come and stay with you, who is on probation for injury to a child by omission. People need to stop letting their children just stay with random people that they don't know and they don't know how they're living. So CBS can do whatever they wish, but I'm telling you right now, your probation is not getting transferred to Austin. You're not allowed to live in Austin. You're going to be living in Bexar County, and this court is going to have to keep an eye on all of these children who are under the age of 3 and the 9-year-old that some parent somewhere seems okay with allowing you to supervise. And if you live in Bexar County and you leave this county to go when I didn't give you permission to, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Let me ask you this. Is it okay for your 3-year-old to smoke marijuana? Do you have any problem with that?
Of course.
All right. So the child that you are carrying, that you keep rubbing your stomach and you want me to know you're pregnant, guess what? When you're smoking marijuana, you're letting an unborn child smoke marijuana. Just imagine that child in your stomach, kicked back on a couch, smoking marijuana, because that's what you're doing. Do you understand? I'm not going to tolerate that, because use of marijuana is not allowed on probation out of this court. And if your levels rise, we're not going to have a compliance hearing. We're not going to have a conversation. I'm going to get notice that your levels have gone up and a motion to revoke is going to be filed. And wherever you may be, at your home or in the grocery store at HEB or wherever it is, a warrant's going to be issued. And if police see you there, they're going to arrest you. And so do you still want to pretend to me like you have not been smoking marijuana?
I'm doing anything, Your Honor.
Okay. She's still pretending. So I want UA randomly once a week throughout the week. All right, thank you. Kayla Connor, could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Michael Hillary out the stage.
for the defense?
David Blair here.
And are you Kayla Connor? So the reason we are here, it's a compliance. And I guess it's a request from your client to live somewhere other than Bear County. And I asked that certain people be present today. And I've requested that the CPS workers be present. And my understanding probation is present.
This line should terrify you. Judge Boyd just recounted how CPS caseworkers, the very people responsible for child protection, reported that the kids were running around and seemed okay. That's it. And Judge Boyd isn't buying it, because seeming okay is not the same as being safe. This shows a major flaw in the system. Surface-level CPS checks that look for bruises instead of behavior, order instead of structure, chaos instead of concern. The fact that a child under her care tested positive for THC and CPS didn't even know says it all. This isn't just Kayla failing, it's the system missing red flags, and the judge knows it. She's making one thing very clear: if CPS won't protect these kids, the court will, even if that means zero tolerance from here on out.
So would anyone like to call a witness with regards to her living somewhere other than San Antonio? Or am I going to call witnesses?
I'll defer to the.
All right. All right. Could the San Antonio caseworker please come forward? Hello.
Hello.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. You can lower your hand if you could state your name for the record.
Amy Loper.
All right. And what is your relationship to Kayla Connor?
I was the family-based worker for her until about October, beginning of October.
All right. And can you tell the court whether or not you were aware while you were the family-based worker that Ms. Connor left Bear County and left San Antonio to live elsewhere?
So she did not tell me when she actually left. I did know that her paramour had a job opportunity in Austin, and just asked them to let me know where they go so I could get a worker in that area that could work with them.
All right. So she didn't request permission to leave?
I was aware. Yes, I was aware. that
No,
the
my
plan
question
was
is,
to-
did she request permission to leave?
No, but we don't require that.
Okay. Were you aware that she was using marijuana?
I was when her probation officer contacted me.
All right. So you were aware after this court asked her if she was going to be positive for drugs. That's the only time you were aware?
The beginning of October is when I heard from her probation officer. So I visited with her the first week of October to discuss that.
Thank you. All right. Officer, I'm sorry, CPS caseworker Perez.
Your Honor, Flor Perez Chavez, yes.
All right. Does anybody have any question to these two witnesses appearing by Zoom? Ms. Perez is actually in the location where Ms. Connor is looking to move.
Your Honor,
Just one moment, please. Any objections?
No objection. Not to say.
All right. Ms. Perez, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Flor Perez Chavez, FBSS caseworker in Travis County.
All right. Either party want to question this witness?
Is it Ms. Chavez or Ms. Perez Chavez?
Perez Chavez, correct.
Ms. Perez Chavez, when was Ms. Connor placed onto your caseload?
I received the courtesy request on November 8th, and I made a call to Ms. Connor asking her home address, and I made the visit on November 9th.
Okay, so you actually visited the home on November 9th?
Yes, she was in Riverside that time in Travis County, yes.
Okay, and has she remained on your caseload since then?
She has remained on my caseload. However, I did receive an email shortly after my visit that she was ordered to return and that I was basically that I was not gonna need to see her again.
Okay, so when you received that email that she was ordered to remain in Bear County,
Here's where the courtroom tension thickens. Kayla wasn't just reminded to stay in Bear County, she was explicitly ordered to, and yet she moved anyway. This isn't a gray area, it's a clear violation of probation, and Judge Boyd isn't playing games. And the excuse? Her boyfriend got a job opportunity. Sorry, employment convenience does not override a judge's direct order. Period. Probation comes with rules. You don't get to pick and choose based on your living preferences or your partner's career path. This isn't flexibility, it's defiance. Every minute Kayla spent in another county was a risk to her children, her case, and her freedom. And now that defiance is catching up to her, fast.
did you have that conversation with her as well, that she needed to return to Bear County?
No, I received an email from her primary caseworker, just to my supervisor, and me let me know that I no longer needed to go visit her.
Okay. Are you aware that she gave birth to a child on December 12th?
Yes, I visited exactly shortly after she was released from the hospital to go see the baby.
Okay. Were you aware that her child was born positive to THC, with THC?
Yes, that is also part of the another intake that came in.
All right. So did you verify her boyfriend's paramour / fiance's employment?
I have not, Your Honor.
And they were in Travis, then they moved to Buda. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct, correct.
And where are they staying? Are they staying in a place that they're leasing?
From my understanding, it's a month-to-month lease.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Are there any more questions for this witness?
Nothing to say. No, Your Honor.
All right. If you could state your name for the record.
My name is Sylvia Cirola.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Rolla, are you Ms. Connor's current I'm not talking pre-trial, just community supervision officer?
Yes, that is correct, sir.
And how long has she been on your caseload?
She has been on my caseload since she was granted, which was August 25th of 2022, sir.
Okay. So you're aware that the court ordered her to remain in Bear County, correct?
That is correct.
And I want to talk about how many times you had that conversation with Ms. Connor. Do you know how many times you've told her that she needed to remain in Bear County?
Yes, sir. I told her when I went over her conditions initially in September at our first visit. So I went over all her conditions. I explained everything that she needed to do. She said that she was aware of and understood exactly what she needed to do while on probation. And then also I told her about maybe 3 weeks before, or about 3 to 4 weeks before she moved out of the county, she came to an office visit and she stated that she might be moving. And she told me that her boyfriend was possibly going to get a job. He had gone to an interview, possibly going to get a job in Austin with Tesla, and they would have to move. At that point, I advised her of her conditions. I advised her she is not allowed to move unless the judge gave her permission. So I explained how the judge would give her permission. I said, I got to submit a document. We address the facts, and it would be up to the judge to allow you to move. You cannot just leave the county. And she said, well, I'm going to be homeless. And I said, well, Miss Connor, a lot of people commute from Bear County to Travis County every day on a daily basis. They work there, but they live here. So if your boyfriend gets a job there, that would be what would need to happen. So because you need to stay here. And she said, no, because he's not going to be able to pay 2 different rents. So she said, he can't pay rent for me here and pay rent in Austin. And I said, well, then in that case, he would have to commute. I said, because you are not allowed to leave the county. You have field visits 3 times a month, and you are not allowed to move without the judge's permission. She didn't tell me that she moved. I found out on my own that she moved because I had called the CPS worker, and I notified the CPS worker that she had moved. We found out that she had moved after she had been there already like 3 weeks, I believe.
Does November 14th of 2022 sound correct when she had her last court date, when she also tested positive for marijuana in court?
Yes, that is correct. That's the last day that she tested positive. Yes, sir.
you-
And
So you spoke with her on November 14th of 2022, letting her know that she needed to be in Bexar County.
yeah, she's known that she needed to be in Bexar County. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Her boyfriend rented an Airbnb for a month and she couldn't come back. And I told her, yes, but you were in court that morning and the judge told you needed to come back to Bexar County. Her boyfriend, according to some of the emails that she sent me, her boyfriend rented that Airbnb, one of those apartments, in the afternoon at 3-something in the afternoon, but she had been in court that morning.
as of today, which is January 12th of 2023, where is it that, to your understanding, that Ms. Connor is residing?
My understanding is that she is still living in Buda, Texas.
Okay,
All right. Is this witness excused?
from the state's perspective, yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in. You can remain on if you want to hear the court's ruling.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
So let me tell you both what I'm going to do. So the person I have before me has not followed the court's rule. We were here on November 14th, and I specifically said she used to remain in Bexar County. She doesn't have stable housing. She and her boyfriend / paramour / fiance / father of her children are moving from place to place with these children. The CPS worker is not doing adequate supervision, or either they're coming in and doing spot checks, and their spot checks is, oh, children are running around, they seem okay, they don't have any bruises. Then I'm being told now that there's some new allegation that a child may have been sexually abused. And the last time we were here, I think she had children that are under the age of 5. She has a newborn who's testing positive for marijuana, and she was here in this court and tested positive for marijuana.
This is where everything changes. A newborn testing positive for marijuana isn't just alarming, it's devastating. It tells the court that the mother continued drug use into late pregnancy, knowing full well she was under legal supervision. From a legal standpoint, this is one of the most serious CPS flags imaginable. It's not about judgment, it's about exposure, risk, and accountability. And Judge Boyd, her patience just expired. She's no longer treating this as a compliance issue. She's treating it like a child protection crisis. This isn't about weed, it's about responsibility.
And the CPS case workers didn't even know she was using marijuana. That's not good. And she's not following my rules. This is what I am going to do. You are living in Bexar County. Do you understand? You will be in Bexar County by January 20th. If you're not here, a motion to revoke will be filed against you. And you're looking up spending a possibility of 10 years in prison. You will be in Bexar County. You're going to be supervised by this probation officer. There are going to be regular UAs. I'm going to want those field visits for 3 times per month. And please tell them to check on the children. You are not to have any males living in your home. That includes your paramour, boyfriend / fiance, whoever he may be. I'm shocked that the CPS caseworkers came in here saying that he works for Tesla, but nobody has any proof of that. It appears to me that they didn't make him do a service plan. In my experience, when you have children that are involved, any boyfriend / paramour / fiance, they're supposed to be doing the service plan as well. They're supposed to be drug tested as well. You're jumping from hotel to hotel, from house to Airbnb. You're going to be in Bexar County. And if you're not in Bexar County, motion to revoke is going to be filed. You're going to be here by January 20th. And if your fiance / boyfriend / paramour loves you, he will rent a Airbnb here, or he will rent you a hotel here, but you will be here. And you are lucky that I am not putting down a no unsupervised contact with children.
That sentence might be the last olive branch Kayla's going to get. Judge Boyd is saying flat out that Kayla is lucky she's still allowed to see her children without supervision. Most defendants in her situation, they'd lose that privilege immediately. This is the judge's final warning. And why? Because she failed a drug test. Her child was born THC positive. She's been moving from Airbnb to Airbnb with multiple kids. CPS isn't doing adequate checks, and she's ignoring direct court orders. In legal terms, this is the edge of the cliff. The judge doesn't want to cut her off completely. Not yet, but she's making it very clear. One more misstep, and the consequences will be irreversible. Is this mercy, or is it the court giving rope to see if Kayla hangs herself with it?
But since Child Protective Services is involved and they're supposed to be doing their job, you're going to let them know where you're staying. You're going to call that caseworker in Travis County and tell her, I am back in Bexar County. And you're going to call that Bexar County family-based service worker. You're going to tell her, I'm back in Bexar County. I don't know why they haven't given you a legal case. You should have a legal case because your baby was born positive for drugs. Maybe they're understaffed. So people need to start paying more money so there can be more caseworkers. But your children are not being taken care of well by you.
There it is, raw and unfiltered. Judge Boyd tells Kayla, point blank, your children are not being taken care of well by you. This is the judge stepping out of legal language and into emotional truth. And it lands hard. Because deep down, this isn't just a courtroom drama. It's a moral failure. Kayla isn't being painted as a monster. She's being seen as someone who refuses to grow up, take charge, and protect the very people who rely on her most. The system can only support so much. At some point, it demands accountability. And Judge Boyd is saying that point, it's now.
And you're not looking out for them. You're just living your best life and you're disregarding the rules that I've set. If you are not in Bexar County by January 20th at 9 a.m. living here, a motion to revoke will be filed. And when that motion to revoke is filed, what's going to end up happening is a warrant will be issued for your arrest. The police will pick you up wherever they may find you. If you're at an Airbnb in Austin, in Travis County, in Buda, wherever, with just you and your children, the police are going to come there. They're going to pick you up and they're going to call CPS to come pick up your children. And your children are going to be taken into care of CPS, and you're going to go to the Bexar County Jail. Either you will make bond or you will not. And then we will hear the allegations of you not being where I told you to be.
This is a final, non-negotiable deadline, and Judge Boyd makes it crystal clear. Kayla has until January 20th to return to Bexar County or face revocation, jail time, and potentially losing custody of her children. No maybes, no delays, no partner excuses. This isn't just a threat. It's the court drawing a legal boundary in stone. If she crosses it, a warrant will be issued, she'll be arrested, and her children will be handed over to CPS. That's not drama, that's reality. And it's heartbreaking that it's come to this. The countdown has begun.
And you're going to be looking at potentially 10 years in prison. Do you understand? And when are you supposed to be back in Bexar County?
20.
What time? All right. Is there anything else from either side?
Nothing further from the state.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. And I'm going to want a UA today. When you're tested today, what are the results going to be? Because you are getting a UA today. All right. We're going to do a UA today. Thank you for coming in. Good morning. So are you all here for bond or you're asking?
Just for bond, I was just retained like late last night.
Okay.
I conferred.
Sure. All right. Court is calling 2022 CR 0841C State versus Kayla Connor. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ashley Jones?
Defense.
Roberto Ambrosino.
And are you Miss Connor? All right. And counsel, you're here to have a bond set?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. What are you requesting?
I conferred with the state and I believe if the court would approve it. We were in agreement with a $20,000 bond.
Mhm.
She does not have any new charges. I believe it was reporting. It was the main issue that. would
And I'm
form the
sorry, you
basis-
said the main issue was reporting?
Reporting,
Okay,
form the basis of the MTR. I believe the state was going to ask for partial GPS. While we're not in agreement, we don't, we would understand that under the circumstances.
and with regards to, you mentioned reporting allegation, what do you mean? What is the allegation? Is it 2 months or what is it?
I believe it's over a year.
Okay,
It's my understanding.
all right. Is there anything else?
I'm gonna state your honor.
And she is on defer, so I think that would lend to her getting a bond more than if she were on.
No, she's
probation.
entitled to a bond. You're
Right.
entitled to a bond. All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to set your bond at $150,000. There's to be full GPS. The court will ask that the fees be waived. Is there anything else?
Not from the state judge.
I don't think she'd be able to afford that, judge, or the court consider anything less than that.
Well, if you want to present some evidence as to that, but part of the reason for bond is to ensure that a person will appear for court. So did she ever not appear for court when the court asked her to appear?
I believe that may be reflected in the prior.
All right. So the bond will remain at $150,000, full GPS, waive fees. Do y'all wish to set the motion to revoke?
Yes.
All right, when would you like it set? 2 weeks from now or when?
2 weeks seems reasonable.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if I can have a 2-week reset, this will be contested.
February 11th.
All right. You'll be set on February 11th for a contested hearing. And state you need to have your witnesses present.
Yes, sir.
All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 0841C State versus Kayla Connor. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Ashley Jones for the state.
for the defense?
Roberto Ambrosino.
And are you Kayla Connor?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke probation with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Kayla? Is it Jeanne? Janine Connor, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 0841C for the offense of injury to a child with intentional bodily injury on August 25th, 2022 for a period of 5 years. Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
The state is alleging from the state's motion to supplement pending motion to enter adjudication of guilt that the defendant violated condition number 4 in Bear County, Texas. The defendant, Kayla Jeanne Connor, did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December of 2023, and January, February, March, April, May, June, all the way through December of 2024 in violation of condition number 4.
Right, to that allegation, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
And state with the regards to the other allegation?
The state will waive the other allegation.
No
Any
objection.
objection? Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is not a proposed agreement. The state will argue for our recommendation. And I plead to this.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, given that the defendant has not reported for over a year and a half now, and given her history and not only the facts of the case, that state is going to ask for 2 years in the Texas Department of Corrections.
All right, in defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, I'm requesting that the court impose some type of jail sanction, revoke her deferred adjudication, adjudicate her, and put her on straight probation. Or possibly, I saw there was a recommendation from probation that their recommendation was to extend and assign her to safety. I think her only positives were for THC. I don't know that that would be a good fit. I think maybe Sada might be a better fit under the circumstances. And I did have a witness.
All right, should we call your witness?
Carmen Rodriguez.
Ms. Connor.
Oh, come forward. Thank you. Hello. All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Carmen Dolores Rodriguez Mills.
All right.
And good morning, Ms. Rodriguez. How long have you known Kayla Connor?
I believe the first time I met her was around 2014, right before my husband got orders to station at Scott.
Okay, and she's essentially friends with your daughter, correct?
Correct, that's how I met her.
Okay, and so you've known Kayla for a while. What type of family life did she have as long as you've known her?
It wasn't easy. When I met her, she was living with her grandmother because she had her parents weren't really in the picture. And when we left and came back, we started talking to her again last year. And that's when we find out that everything that had happened, and she was not in a good relationship and she was trying to get away from that person. So her and my daughter had gotten contact again. But it wasn't a good example.
So she has had a hard life as such. And with respect to the probation, I guess you were recently made aware that she had a warrant for essentially not reporting to probation.
Yes, I probably around, I want to say around New Year's, she let it be known. And at that time, I was trying to talk to her, and I don't know what the process would be. So I was trying to convince her to, if we could hire a lawyer to explain what needed to be done.
And so once you were made aware of her situation, you advised her to deal with the warrant, turn herself in at some point.
Yeah, whatever I don't know if she would have had to go to the probation or who.
Okay, and do you feel like you've been a positive influence in her life to this point?
I feel yes.
Okay. And has she essentially spent a lot of time at your house over the last few months?
Yes.
Okay, has she lived there or just spent-
Sometimes my husband and I joke that she lives there. Yes.
Okay, okay. And if the judge were to continue her on probation in some form or fashion, would you allow her to live with you, at least in the short term, while she gets back on her feet?
Yes. As long as she abides by the rules.
Okay, and based on what you've seen, do you think that'll be a problem?
No, I don't think so. I just think she needs the guidance.
Okay. Do you think there's good in Kayla?
Yeah.
Do you think the judge should give Kayla another chance?
Yeah. I know she's screwed up, but
Do you think that maybe Kayla lacks some structure and support that maybe she didn't get growing up, and maybe you could provide that for her? Help
yes.
provide that for her to some extent?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass this.
I have a couple if no one has any objections.
No objection.
So you mentioned that she was in a bad relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that the relationship she was in while she was on probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did she ever discuss with you that Child Protective Services was in her life?
Child Protective Service. Well, she told me about the case and that she had certain requirements she was supposed to be making.
All right. And did she tell you her requirements with Child Protective Services?
I didn't ask specifics.
All right.
I was just kind of trying to get her to get back on track with the probation.
Thank you so much for coming down. I appreciate your coming down.
Thank you.
All right. Any other witnesses?
Just briefly call my client.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Kayla Connor.
All right, you may proceed.
Good morning, Caleb. You heard the testimony of Carmen. Rodriguez. If the judge were to continue you on probation, are you in agreement to reside with Carmen in the next few months while you would get on your feet?
Yes.
You heard mention of a bad domestic violence involved relationship that you had been in previously. Has that ended?
Yes.
Okay, when did that end?
About May of last year.
So May of 2024.
Yes.
So that was kind of during this period of time that you had a warrant of your
Yes.
arrest, essentially. Why should the judge give you another chance on probation?
I'm in a better place than I was when all of this happened. I understand that I messed up. I did not go about it the right way, but I'm out of that relationship and that situation that I was in. And I know now that I have the support team that I do have, I am capable and more confident in myself now that I can get this done.
And why didn't you deal with the warrant earlier?
Honestly, I was scared. I've never been in trouble before.
So
So
this is the first criminal case you've ever
Yes,
had.
so I really had no idea how it was gonna go. And due to being a mother of 4 kids, I just didn't want to do time away from them. That's really all it is.
Okay, and essentially, I wasn't on that case previously, but based on what you told me, you were given a period of time that you needed to provide residence in Bear County, and you told me that you did get residence in Bear County, but you were late in providing notice, and that's when the warrant went.
Yes,
And so that went out quite some time ago, but after that, you didn't deal with it because you had the warrant and you were scared.
yes.
If the judge were to continue you, who's to say the same thing wouldn't happen?
Like I said, I'm confident that I'm not gonna slip up. I'm out of the situation that I was in, and that was a very big factor as to why things went the way that they did. And now I'm working on myself and my future for myself and for my kids.
And you have minor children, correct?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
4.
4, and what are their ages?
5, my twin boys are 4, and my youngest is 2.
Okay, and where are they with?
They live with their father.
Okay, and does he have like primary custody essentially?
There's nothing really in place. It was just a verbal agreement due to the fact that I had the warrant. I thought it would be best that they lived with him until I was able to get it figured out.
Okay, and so you voluntarily did that
Yes.
on your own? Okay, is there anything else you want the judge to know why should consider continuing you on probation?
All I have to say is that if you give me another opportunity, I won't make you regret it.
All right, any questions, State?
Ms. Connor, what is the father of your children's name?
Nicholas Treadwell?
You understand that you were given a gift by being placed on probation in the first place for this case.
Yes.
And then you understand that you messed up that probation by not doing the things you were supposed to do.
Yes.
And then the judge gave you an opportunity to come back and continue to do what you were supposed to do. You didn't. And then you didn't report for over a year and a half. Is that correct? That's right.
I have some questions if there are no objections.
No objection.
All right. So this relationship that you were in, that the previous witness says was not a good relationship, was that the relationship with the boyfriend who was supposedly working at Toyota? Or was this some new person? Or, oh, you say Tesla?
Yeah, it's Tesla.
All right, so that was him?
Yes.
All right. So do you recall being here for a compliance hearing? And at that compliance hearing, there were 2 CPS caseworkers. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And do you recall that nobody knew where you were living because you would move from place to place? Did you recall that? Do you recall that?
Honestly, no, I was in touch with my probation officer. with
Now, I
the
want you to
ad-
listen to my question. Do you recall the compliance hearing where the issue was you were moving from place to place and taking your children with you? Do you recall that?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Do you recall coming in where the caseworkers One was by Zoom. Well, actually, both of them were by Zoom. And do you recall coming in? And one of the complaints was that you were testing positive for marijuana. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
And do you recall that your CPS caseworkers had no idea that you were testing positive for marijuana in this court? Do you recall that?
Yes.
And do you recall my ruling saying that you were to leave the home with that boyfriend? Do you recall that?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions.
Any questions, Your Honor?
All right. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And I've heard both your arguments and what you're requesting. This is what the court is going to do. The court is finding violation of condition number 4 true. Court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to grant the motion. The court is going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you understand that and sign it?
Yes.
You have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you are on deferred adjudication. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're also not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition.
This case is a masterclass in what happens when bad choices, broken systems, and unshakable legal truth collide. Kayla Connor came into this courtroom asking for leniency, but what unraveled was far more serious. Probation violations, repeated drug use, a newborn testing positive for THC, a trail of unstable relationships and failed compliance. And Judge Boyd, she didn't hold back. From the suitcase metaphor to the final ultimatum, she gave Kayla every possible chance to prove she was turning her life around. But as we saw, reality tells a different story. Now the question is no longer can Kayla turn things around. It's how many more people have to pay for her decisions before the system says enough. Let us know what you think. Is this justice or just a tragedy that's too late to stop? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. We'll see you in the next one.